Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado, and this is my buddy Puccini who helps me in the craft room. Many of you have become very fond of him over time. He's mostly anxious to get away this time, so I'm going to let him go, but he's my big helper. Today I have a very fun little card for you. It's one of the simplest fun folds I think I've ever found, and I think this one, it's hard to attribute this to anyone because I've seen this done by so many different people, and it's probably because it is so simple. So I don't know where its origins are from, but I got to use this paper that is called Delightful Florals. It's a 12 by 12 designer series paper that's very pretty, and I'm using my Deckled circles. So let's just get started. Okay, so here is my card, and this one I just made a note card, and it's very simple. The card stands, and it's got a little piece on the bottom that Puccini hair everywhere, that just adds the ability for the card to stand, and it's got a peek through hole, and then I've got a place on the back for you to write your message. So I thought that today I would change up my colors. This paper is just stunningly beautiful. Here it is, and it is called, I think it said Floral, Delightful Floral 12 by 12 designer series paper. And the colors it has in it are Berry Burst, Blackberry Bliss, Bubble Bath, Calypso, Coral, Fresh Fresia, Lemon Lolly, Parakeet Party, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. And I think this would be fun in any of those colors as a base. I used the Parakeet Party on this one, and the one I'm going to make with you today is on Fresh Fresia. And it is this one, and I can see here that I need to redo the my fold. Let me just get my bone folder and we'll do that. And what I'm going to do, you know, we don't always cut perfectly, nor do we score perfectly. So on this one, I'm just going to put those bottom edges together, and I'm going to come up here to the top while I've got a good grip on it from the bottom. And I'm going to make my mark and then go across the top to give it a good fold. And so there we've got our card. And so there we go. There we've got our card all scored and folded. And this, as you can see, is done in a scheme that is 11 inches by 4 1/4 to make our card front. And then we need another piece of card that is 3 inches. Let me make sure. Yes, 3 inches this way and 4 1/4 this way. So it matches across the front of the card. Then these score lines are done at 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch, and then you turn it around and you do it again at 3/4. And so it makes it fold accordion, and you're going to fold it this way, and we're going to put this piece between these two pieces here, and that's what's going to give us our stand and the fun fold. All right, so next what I did was, this is the first chance I've had to work with the Deckled circles, and I used these two. In fact, I put them here upside down so I could tell which ones I used. And I just used a couple of pieces of washi tape across both of these to get them the same distance. And I cut a piece of this paper here, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, a square. And then I put, so this is what it looked like that I cut these two pieces out of, 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and you can see it just fits on here, so that'll allow you not to have much in the way of scrap. And then I put this one in the center, and I put excuse me, a piece of washi tape across on both sides, and you can leave it if you're going to do multiples, so you can do it again and again and again and have them perfectly spaced. So what I ended up with is these circles. So, and I'm not going to be able to put them back together the right way, I don't suppose, but yeah, I can, like that. So this one is this, like this. Then I have a second one, which is, or the outside of this one. I'm not sure which one the outside is. It may have gotten away from me. Anyway, I have cut a couple of these. So I have a couple of circles. See, I think this one goes in here like this. And this is the outside of one of them. This piece, it looks like it kind of went together like that. So there's my 3.5 by 3.5, my outside deckled circle cut here, my inside deckled circle cut here, and what you get away with is this piece peels away, and that's your waist. And you have the two circles like this. And what I did was I put one of these circles, and I cut the smaller circle out of this down, I'd say just that's maybe, almost 3/4 of an inch cut down from the top of the card is where I put my smaller deckled circle on here and punch through. Now you could do this with squares, with ovals, with any kind of dies that you have to cut out a little piece. In fact, I think it'd be fun with an oval as well. And if you've been around long enough, you may have the old ovals from Stampin' Up. I still use mine. I find that I use a lot of my old stash frequently. Okay, so on this one, see if I can do this one so that it's kind of matched up. So this one goes here like this. So if you put this outer circle, after you've cut away your piece on this, and you kind of line it up here, then what we can do is use some seal and get some seal put on around the edge of this circle like this to go on this outer edge. And it doesn't matter where you place it except that it basically goes around that one circle. And there we go. And it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. And we know this one came out of right here. So if I kind of hold that in place and then just pick this piece up, I know that that's roughly where the circle goes. So what I can do is just turn this over. Let me do that again. It goes like this. So if I turn this over like right here, that's going to be real close to where it is on the outside. So I'll turn this over like this, and I will add a little bit of glue. Well, actually, I guess you don't have to do this part until you're ready to glue this piece down. But I added some glue, and that way this adds some decoration to the inside of your card as well. So we know that it goes like this roughly to match this outside circle, and I'm going to just put it in place on the inside. Now this piece I'm going to turn over, and it's got the complementary color, and I'm going to add some glue to the bottom of this piece as well. Oops, I need to put that glue on the other side. Let me grab my glue and basically how you fix this. Have you ever done that? I know I do it from time to time. And I'm just going to peel off that glue because I want this piece on the outside, not on the inside. And it's going to allow the person who's peeking through not to just see cardstock on the inside, but they'll see this little colorful piece there. And so this is going to go around here. So we need to put the glue on this side, on this one. So I'm going to just go through here and add some seal to the back of this one. And this one won't matter because it's all just this color. So we're just going to get this the best we can around that little circle. And get that put down like that. Now I'm going to go over with my glue eraser where I put the glue on the wrong side here just once or twice just to make sure that I don't have any there. And now I've got this glue down on the outside, and now I can see this circle on the inside, and it's close to where it was on the outside. Not perfect by any stretch. And so there we go. There's our basis of our card. Now you can, in fact, emboss this piece, emboss this front piece would make it very interesting. What I did was, one of the colors in this scheme is the Pretty Peacock. So I have some Pretty Peacock here, and I have a splatter stamp. Now this was a splatter stamp that came in a paper pumpkin, and so I kind of keep it on hand just so that I can, you know, have one on hand. So what I'm going to do is stamp off, and put a few of these splatters to add some texture to the front of this. And I thought about it afterwards that I really could do an embossing folder, and it would look very good on here. And so I'm just going to stamp off, and put some splatters on the front of this just to give it a little texture. There we go. That's probably plenty. And then when this stands up, it'll show you the inside, which will show that rim of the other color on the inside, which I think is kind of pretty. So I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way, and we are at the point that we can put on this piece, which, well, maybe I'll put on my flowers before I do that so I can get them right where I want them. So what I did was I took another piece of this paper and I fussy cut some flowers and some leaves out of some of this material. And I thought this would look real pretty if I put these leaves so that they encroach a little bit on this circle. And then I can put some leaves up here, and I can maybe put another flower. I didn't get much of this orange in there. This was right along the edge, and I hate wasting things, so I thought I could do that there and add this little bit of greenery right up here to make a flower scheme there. Now, in order to do that, I wanted to raise those pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back of these flowers and leaves and put them into place. So there, now I've got my flowers there. Then I have a piece that I cut that is a piece of Basic White. So there's my piece of white. And while this is still pretty flat, I'm going to take this piece of white that is cut 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of this. And put this into place on the back of my card, centering it. And I'm going to grab that ink, and I thought it would be kind of fun on this one to take a little bit of this Pretty Peacock and kind of put some of those splatters right down here on this end. And then I cut a flower in this case. Now you could cut around, fussy cut around a few of these petals like I did on this one and just put those in there. But I thought this time I would just add a flower and get that put into place right down here in this corner. So that it's on the inside of that. And then I have this one little flower left. And so I'm going to put just a dash of glue on it and kind of stick it right in here maybe and add yet another little flower to the back there. And there we go. That's all there is to that. And then we're going to put in place our little spanner piece. And what we're going to do is we're going to put glue right down the middle on one end, and we're going to put it in place. And so what I'm going to do, put it in place on this bottom card piece here so that it's right across the bottom. There we go. Now then, I'm going to put a bead of glue right along on this one, and that should close from the top. So I've got some little work, although you won't be able to see that from the outside. I'm going to put this in place right down here and close my card. And there we go. Now we've got the card that stands up. It's got the mechanism on the side that works like that. And then all we have to do is make a tag. Now you can put anything. You can make this a birthday card. You can make it just about anything you want. I have a little scrap of white, and I have my Just a Note stamp, and this stamp comes from the Go-To Greeting stamp set, which I love, and I use it over and over and over again. It's one that was designed by a Stampin' Up demonstrator who got to the $1 million mark. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm going to see if I can't stamp that nice and straight. Oops. On my card. Use my grid paper to make sure that my paper's straight. And then put my Just a Note right to one side. There we go. And then I'll just trim this down, and then I'll flag one end here. So now I've got my Just a Note with the dimensional on this end, and I just need glue on this end, just like that. Then I put a few rhinestones on this, and I thought it would be kind of fun to put a couple of rhinestones in the centers of those flowers. And it looks like the only one I need for down here. I'm going to put one on this note. Then I'm going to put one in the middle of this flower. And then just because I can see the one that's up here, I'm going to put a little one right there. And so there we go. We have our decoration on the front of our card with the rhinestones and the flowers. And like I said, this is the simplest little fun fold card I've seen in a long time. It stands up nicely. It's got good decoration on it. And here's my original one here. And I think you can use your bone folder on this central little piece in here to get that to close pretty good. But there you go. There you have it. There's that one and this one. So you can make quite a few. This one I put a little further down. This one I put a little further up. It depends on what you want to show. but I think it's a very pretty little card, fast and easy. And this part, you can add more glue if you'd like, or you can add, you know, something like this in the corner and just trim it down to fit. That way you'd have no waste off of that. So there we go. That's my project for the day. Thank you so much for dropping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And those of you that are customers of mine will receive your catalogs from me hopefully in another week. And I'll have those out and moving towards you just in no time, just waiting for my box to come from Stampin' Up. So there we go. That is my project for the day. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.